Welcome! In this Marvel Champions card game playthrough, we have Doctor Strange taking on the Wrecking Crew. So for getting everything set up for our main scheme, we are using versions B of all of our Wrecking Crew members. So this is the increased difficulty. For setup, we put all the side schemes with their starting threat on it. We'll go over each of those as they start impacting the game, and we place the active counter on Wrecker. Then we have threshold of 6 threats on this one. Force response. After step 1 of the villain phase, place 1 threat on each side scheme. Move the active counter to the villain whose scheme has the most threat. If there's a tie, we choose, and if this stage is completed, we lose the game. And we've got Doctor Strange here, and his alter ego, Covery of 3. He begins the game with the Invocation deck, which we'll shuffle here in a second. Natural Talent, as an action, discard the top card of the Invocation deck once per phase, and hand size of 6, hit points of 10. Hero form, got a thwart of 2, attack of 1, defense of 2. Spell Mastery, as an action, exhaust Doctor Strange, pay the cost of the top card of the Invocation deck. Resolve the special ability on that card, and we've got a hand size of 5. So go ahead and randomize these 5 cards. And we will be starting with images on top. So special, confuse the villain or remove 4 threat from a scheme. And we'll go ahead and shuffle our hero deck and draw our 6 cards to get started. So we've got Enhanced Awareness, Magic Blast, Triskelion, Mystical Studies, Rapid Response, and the Power of Leadership. And I'm just going to keep the Mystical Studies as a just in case. Pitch those 5 and try again. All right, so now I've got the Helicarrier, our Cloak of Levitation, Hawkeye, Magical Enhancements, and Astral Projection. I'm going to go ahead and put in our Cloak, paying these 2. So we gain the aerial trait. So hero action, exhaust the Cloak of Levitation, ready Doctor Strange. Then we'll go ahead and use our Mystical Studies. It's an alter ego action. Search your deck and discard pile for a Doctor Strange card. Add it to your hand. Shuffle your deck. Let's see here. There's 2 cards I'm thinking about. The Sanctum is one of them. And the Eye is the other. And I think we're going to go with the Eye. Put that in our hand. Then shuffle our deck. Then we're going to use our ability to go ahead and discard that. And the next one coming up, choose a status card in play, replace that with a different status card. So not what I was hoping for. So in that case, we're just going to flip over and thwart for 2. Bring him down to 3. Go ahead and ready. Thwart for another 2. Bringing him down to 4. We'll end our turn. I'm going to keep the Eye, discard that, so drawing 4 more cards. All right, Protective Ward, Master of the Mystic Arts, Vision, and Nick Fury. Place a threat on Breakout. Then each side scheme gets 1. Then this goes to the villain with the most threat on it. So we've got 5 over here and 5 over there. So we'll go ahead and keep it on Wrecker. So he has a scheme of 3, attack of 3. They all have a similar ability that whenever they scheme, place threat on his side scheme instead of the main scheme. His special ability is while Wrecker is attacking, he gets +2 attack if this attack is undefended. So we are going to defend. So base 3. So 4 damage coming our way. We block 2 and take 2. So down to 8. Then our encounter card. The Buddy System. When revealed, choose the villain whose side scheme has the least threat. Reveal the top card of his deck. 2 cards instead if he's the only villain in play. So that's either going to be Pile Driver or Thunderball. We'll go with Thunderball, who has the buddy system. Choose a villain whose side scheme has the least threat. Reveal the top card. So we'll go over to Pile Driver. So he's been waiting for this. The active villain gains 3 hit points. Give that villain a tough status card. So he's already at his max health. But we'll make him tough. Then it's back to our turn. And the first thing we're doing is ready. And since that came out, we'll use our ability here. Choose a status card in play. Replace that status card with a different one. So instead of tough, he's going to be stunned. And we're revealing the winds of Watun, which we will utilize with the Master of Mystic Arts. So cost 1, we use Vision for that. It's a hero action. Pay the printed cost of the top card of the invocation deck. Resolve its special ability, then place it back on top of the invocation deck, face up. So with the winds, let's draw 3 cards. Goes to the invocation deck, then back on top because of this. So we've got Strength, Rapid Response, and Wonder Man. And since we got that, we're going to bring in Nick Fury. And with these 4, so when he comes into play, we can either remove 2 threat from a scheme, draw 3 cards, or deal 4 damage to an enemy. And at the end of the round, if he's still in play, we discard him. So we'll bring him in and draw 3 cards, finding the Sorcerer Supreme, Enhanced Awareness, and Mariah Heal. Then we're going to bring in our Eye for 2. So as a hero resource, exhaust the Eye, generate a wild resource. Then we're going to bring in the Sorcerer Supreme using this and the Eye. Play only if we have the Mystic trait, which we have. Get +1 hand size while in hero form. Then Nick is going to swing for 2 into the Wrecker. So we've caused our first damage finally. So end our turn. Nick does have a damage on him. We're drawing up to 6 thanks to the Sorcerer Supreme. So we've got Strength in Numbers, Enhanced Awareness, Squirrel Girl, Mockingbird, Energy, and Master of the Mystic Arts. Villain phase, threat on the main scheme. Each one of these is going to get 1, so going from 5 to 6, 4 to 5, 5, and then 6 for the Wrecker. So he still has the most, so we'll keep him active. So he's going to attack. Nick Fury will defend. Base 3, so 5 damage coming in. Nick goes out. Then we get an encounter card, a Crowbar Toss. We're in hero form, so Wrecker attacks you. Then move the active villain counter to the villain whose side scheme has the least threat. So we will defend. Base 3. So just 3 damage coming our way. Which means we'll take 1. Least threat is one of these 2. We'll put it on Pile Driver. Then for our turn, we're going to use the Cloak to ready. Master of the Mystic Arts. So we can use the top card. So that's our resource to pay for that. Lets us draw 3 cards. Genius, Downtime, and Sanctum Sanctorum. Then we'll use Doctor Strange to use this to draw 3 cards, getting the Quinjet, Magical Enhancements, and Astral Projection. Next card is a 7 Rings, which gives up to 3 characters a tough status. Then we'll bring in Squirrel Girl. After she enters play, deal 1 damage to each enemy. So Bulldozer down to 14. Pile Driver down to 13. Thunderball 15, and the Wrecker also at 15. Then we're going to bring in Mockingbird for 3. After she enters play, stun an enemy. So we'll stun the Wrecker. Then we'll play Strength in Numbers as an action. Exhaust any number of allies you control. Draw 1 card for each ally exhausted this way. So drawing 2 cards, Strength in Numbers, and Endurance. So go ahead and bring in the Sanctum. Alter Ego action, exhaust this, shuffle a spell card from your discard pile into your deck and draw a card. Then use astral projection, paying that, and using our eye. So as a hero action, we can thwart, choose a scheme. We're going to choose Thunderstrucks, remove 3 threat. Then look at the top card of the encounter deck. For each boost icon on that card, remove 1 additional threat from the chosen scheme. And whenever these cards refer to the villain or the encounter deck, it is going to be the active one. So we've got 0 boost icons there, but you see we've got an escaped convict on the ready. So I've got that down to 2. Then I'm going to bring in the Quinjet for a resource. So response after your turn begins, place 1 time counter on the Quinjet. So that's hopefully something I can remember. All right, ending your turn, drawing 6 cards. 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6, which means we go through our deck. So we get an encounter card and shuffle. That's one thing about Doctor Strange. He can go through his deck stack pretty quickly. All right. So thread on the main scheme and then 1 on each other one. Wrecker's at 7, so he becomes the active villain. Goes to attack, loses stunned. Then our encounter card, got a mystical link. When revealed, place 2 threat on each side scheme. I do not like that one. So we're going to do our protective ward. It's a hero interrupt. When a treachery is revealed from the encounter deck, cancel all of its effects and discard it. And we'll deal with this one, where we've got the escaped convict. He comes in with Surge. And even though he came from this stack, we're picking from over here. So Wrecker's command. Attached to Wrecker, force response after he schemes, place a threat on each other villain side scheme. It's a hero action. We can spend 2 physical resources to discard this, and also gives him +1 scheme. So we are going to put Wong into play with these 2 and our eye as a resource. And so he's got a thwart of 1, attack of 2, health of 3. So in action, we exhaust him to either heal 1 damage from your identity or discard the top card of the invocation deck. But we're just going to use him to attack for 2 to get rid of the escaped convict. Then we're going to play Strength in Numbers. Exhaust any number of allies, draw a card for each one. Drawing 2, the Power of Leadership, and Astral Projection. On the start of our turn, we've got a token there. Then we'll use Doctor Strange. Spending a resource for the 7 rings. Give up to 3 characters each a tough status. Which will be the Doctor, Squirrel Girl, and Mockingbird. Then we have the Crimson Bands revealed. And we will, ready Doctor Strange. And thwart for 2 on the main scheme. Now we will end our turn. I'll go ahead and keep that and draw 5 more. All right, Master of the Mystic Arts, Hawkeye, Enhanced Awareness, Wonder Man, and Rapid Response. Down the line, add a threat to all these. Wrecker bulldozers at the most. And we'll keep it on the Wrecker, so he will attack. Squirrel Girl will jump in the way. Base 3 attack. Plus, move the active counter to the villain with the least threat on a side scheme, which is Thunderball. She'll lose her tough status. Then our encounter card comes from Thunderball with an escaped convict, so that's got Surge. What comes out, I've been waiting for this. When revealed, the active villain heals 3 hit points. Give that villain a tough status card. He can just heal 1. And he is tough. So back to our turn here. So we're going to use the Master of Mystic Arts, using Hawkeye to pay for it, so that we can play the top card of our invocation deck. And there's our 2 resources. So stun an enemy and deal 7 damage to it. Wrecker is stunned and down to 8 health. Wong is going to take care of this escaped convict. Then we're going to pay 2 to use our Crimson Bands to do some damage over here. So we'll take him down to 7 and stun him 2. And shuffle our invocation stack. And top card is the Images. And I believe I forgot that once again. And he became exhausted when we used that other spell. Now we will ready him. Then we'll use his ability to use Images, paying for it with the eye here. So confuse the villain, which is Thunderball. And remove 4 threat from a scheme, which will take off of bulldozers. And the Crimson Bands are back. We'll end our turn with that. Drawing 6, Vision, Triskelion, Nick Fury, Genius, Protective Ward, and Strength in Numbers. So add a threat all the way down. Wrecker goes to 9. Becomes the active villain. Goes to attack, but he's stunned. We'll get an encounter card. Now he's got a magic crowbar attached to Wrecker. During attacks, place a threat on the side scheme with the least threat as a hero action. Exhaust your hero, discard a card at random from your hand to discard this card. Then back to us. We will bring in Nick Fury for these 3, using the eye. Use his ability and draw 3. Whoops. No, we won't. Got to do one more thing first. Well, we'll bring in the Triskelion with the eye to increase our ally limit by 1. And I'll remember to do that this time. Now I can bring in Nick Fury for 4 and use his ability to have us draw 3 cards, getting energy, a helicarrier, and magical enhancements. We will use Strength in Numbers, exhausting just 3 allies to draw 3 cards, Strength, Rapid Response, and magical enhancements. Then use Doctor Strange, paying 2 to use the Crimson Bands to stun an enemy and deal 7 damage to it. So he's going to be stunned, but it's not going to matter. Taking him down to 1. Then Nick Fury will finish him off, which is going to remove him along with the side scheme. So go ahead and just move all this stuff out of the way. We'll leave him laying down right there. This goes to the next villain with the most threat, which is going to be the Pile Driver. Our next card is the Vapors. Choose a status card in play and replace it with a different status. Use the Cloak and Ready. Then Doctor Strange to use that to Get Thunderball stunned instead of tough. Next card is the 7 rings. We'll then bring in the Helicarrier for 3. And then go ahead and use that. Exhaust this, choose a player, which will be ourselves. Reduce the resource cost of the next card that player plays this phase by 1. So we'll bring in Rapid Response. As a hero response, after an ally you control is defeated, discard Rapid Response, put that ally into play from your discard pile and deal 1 damage to it. That will end our turn. Drawing up to 6. Strength in Numbers, Enhanced Awareness, Downtime, Astral Projection, Mystical Studies, and Master of the Mystic Arts. We're going up to 4. 6 over here. 9 on Pile Driver. And 6 on Thunderball. Pile Driver goes to attack, loses a stunned. Counter card. When revealed, you are confused. If you're already confused, he schemes. All right, so now we're confused. Nick Fury flies away at the end of the round. We are going to use Wong's ability to discard that card, revealing the wins here. Then we'll use our Master of the Mystic Arts, so we can draw 3 cards. Getting Mariah Hill, Endurance, and Enhanced Awareness. And of course, once again, beginning my turn. And I'm just going to underpay on the Quinjet to bring Mariah Hill in. Put an Avenger ally from your hand into play with printed cost equal to or less than the number of time counters on Quinjet, then discard this. And when she enters play, each player draws a card. So we found a Magic Blast, which also dexes, which means we're going to get an encounter card from Pile Driver. And we're going to shuffle. Then we'll play Strength in Numbers, exhausting 3 allies. So we can draw 3 cards. Protective Ward, Rapid Response, and a Magic Blast. Then we are going to use Doctor Strange to draw 3 cards. Magical Enhancements, Energy, and Strength. And reshuffle these. See what else we get. Oh, the winds came back. So we'll definitely go ahead and ready and play the winds again to draw 3 more cards. Enhanced Awareness, Master of the Mystic Arts, and a Quinjet. Next card up is the Vapors. We'll use Energy for Astral Projection, which is a hero thwart action. That will get rid of our confused status. Actually, let me take that back 1 step. Let's stay confused. So put that back in my hand. Got a better way out of this, I think. We're going to Magic Blast our way out of this. So using that and the eye, deal 5 damage to an enemy, discard the top card of your deck. If that card's printed resource has this, we're doing something else. So 5 damage on Pile Driver, take him down to 8. Looking at top card, which is Wild, which means we're going to do all the above, stun the enemy, deal another 2 damage to that enemy, and confuse that enemy. So stunned, confused, 2 more damage. And he retaliates for 1, which gets rid of our toughness. Now I'll use the Master of Mystic Arts, so we can use the top card over here. Choose a status card in play and replace it. So we'll turn our Confused into Tough. Just move this down so I can remember to use it later. Then we're going to Magic Blast again. Going into Pile Driver, taking him down to 1. Revealing, getting the Lightning Bolt, which is deal 2 damage to that enemy. So since he did not survive this, he will not retaliate. So we'll go ahead and do some cleanup here. So there lies Pile Driver. So now we can pick to either go to Thunderball or Bulldozer, and since he's stunned and confused, we'll go over here. Make the next card we play this round 1 cheaper. So we've got another Magic Blast in hand, paying those. Dead on Bulldozer, taking him down to 2. Reveal the next card, which is Mental. Which is confuse that enemy. So he's stunned and confused also. Then we're going to do some astral projection here. Choose a scheme, remove 3 threat. We're going to choose the main scheme. Then look at the top card of the encounter deck, which has 1 icon on it, and he's going to be holding someone hostage maybe. So we can remove 1 more from that. Then we're going to put Endurance in play, giving us +3 hit points. So going up to 10. Then we're going to do something different. We're going to go ahead and flip over. So we can finally use our Sanctum here. It's an alter ego action. Exhaust this, shuffle a spell card from your discard pile into your deck, and draw a card. I think we want to put a Magic Blast back in here. Give this a shuffle, then we'll draw a card. So this has been a pretty busy turn. Getting Hawkeye. And we're just going to use him to bring in downtime. So if we ever decide to do some recovery, we'll get +2 recovery. We're going to use our ability to discard the top card of our invocation deck, which is going to bring up the images. And I believe that is going to end our turn. Drawing 6 cards. Getting Master of the Mystic Arts, Quinn Carrier, Strength in Numbers, Astral Projection, Genius, and Vision. So 1 threat on Breakout, Bulldozer gets 1, and Thunderball gets 1. They're both at 7, so we can choose. We'll just keep Thunderball as the main guy. So he's going to go Scheme, getting rid of Confused, getting an encounter card. So attach the active villain side scheme. Threat cannot be removed from attached scheme by thwarting. It's a hero action. The villain corresponding to the attached side scheme attacks you, then discard this card. Then our other encounter card is Uncanny Resilience. When revealed, remove each stunned and confused status card from each villain. If no status cards were removed this way, it gains Surge. So Pile Driver has greatly helped out his team there. Now we'll see how we can respond back. First thing is using the Sanctum to put a spell from our discard pile into our deck and then draw 1, which will be a Magic Blast. Not many cards in here. Do my best to get these randomized. And drawing into Mystical Studies. Make the next card we play this round 1 cheaper. It's an alter ego action. Search your deck and discard pile for a Doctor Strange card and add it to your hand. We want to search our discard pile. Maybe. Thought I had one more in here. Okay, in that case, we're searching our deck for a Magic Blast. So Wong is going to attack for 2 on Bulldozer, which ends his career. And now it's just Thunderball, but that does put 3 damage on Wong. He'll go to the discard pile. Rapid response. So here, oops, we're in the wrong mode for that. Should have flipped over first. Oh well. I think he'll use his ability to go to the next card, which is giving people a tough status. We'll go ahead and flip over. Play Strength in Numbers. Exhausting these 3 to draw 3 cards. Wonder Man, Protective Ward, and a Magic Blast. What do we have coming up next? So we're going to use our ability, paying 1, using our eye to give up to 3 characters tough status. Squirrel Girl and Mariah Hill gets tough. Then we find the Crimson Bands. We're going to ready Doctor Strange, then exhaust him very quickly, using his Genius for the 2 resources to stun an enemy and do 7 damage to it. So down to 9. Then we'll go in for a Magic Blast, paying those 3, which deals 5 damage, and we see what the next card is, down to 4. Next card is physical, so we're stunning that enemy. He's already stunned. But this Magic Blast is going to end the day. So Thunderball is down. And Doctor Strange, with the power of leadership and all his friends, was able to take out the Wrecking Crew. So taking a look at our deck construction, of course you know his main deck and his invocation. So with the power of leadership, got those 2 cards. Strength in Numbers, exhaust any number of allies you control, draw 1 card for each ally exhausted this way. This is just to see how many cards I can actually draw with him. So I've got 3 copies of that in there. Mariah Hill, hey, look at that, she lets us draw a card. Squirrel Girl, Wonder Man, Vision, Hawkeye. And rapid response, in case we lose one of our allies, we can quickly bring them back in. Triskelion, increasing our ally limit by 1. And the Quinjet. And for our basic cards, we've got our 3 resources. The Sorcerer Supreme, which to me is just automatic with Doctor Strange. 3 enhanced awareness. Quinn Carrier, Helicarrier, Nick Fury, Mockingbird, and then just in case it was ever needed, Downtime or Endurance. So that's everything in my Doctor Strange deck for Power of Leadership. As always, I hope you enjoyed this playthrough, so please click on the like button below and be sure to subscribe. Thanks for watching.